Thank you for checking out the Media Marketing Podcast, a place where you can learn all things media and marketing related. Don't miss a beat in boosting your business and your brand. In each episode, you'll gain valuable insights, tools, and strategies to apply to your marketing efforts. And now your host, Brian Cargill.
There we go. All right, we are live. Thank you so much, Tom Herring, for joining me today. I'm going to just jump right into your introduction so we can hit the ground running because we have a lot to talk about, and I'm really excited to bring you on. So,
Sure.
Yeah. Tom has worked as a creative director, copywriter, and brand strategist. Before starting his strategic marketing communications firm, he worked for well-regarded agencies in the Northwest as copywriter and creative director. He attracts clients who place high values on collaboration, creativity, and responsiveness. Tom has guided various projects for highly respected national and regional companies such as Nike, Intel, Bob's Red Mill, Natural Foods, NorPac Foods, Boyd's Coffee Company, Wild Oats Natural Markets, and Oregon State University. He currently serves as a board member of the Oregon Small Business Fair, as well as the advocacy co-chair for the Interfaith Alliance on Poverty, an organization dedicated to fighting generational poverty. He is the co-author of the book, Putting Soul into Business, How the Benefit Corporation is Transforming American Business in 25 Building Blocks to Create a Conscientious Organization. Tom, that was an awesome introduction. I appreciate you coming on the show. How are you doing?
Brian, I'm doing great, and thank you so much for having me on your show, and hopefully I can help out some of your viewers or enlighten them a little bit, as well as getting myself enlightened along the way. So
definitely, and I think a lot of viewers are going to walk away having a greater understanding of what it is that you guys do and all the great things that go along with having a business. So, and what you can do for the the community at large with your business beyond just trying to make a profit. So, yeah. So maybe you want to tell me a little bit about yourself that's not in that intro. You were even saying you have a little bit of background in radio, so that's why I'm excited to have you on the show. So.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, I had done in my previous career before Marianne Harmer and I joined forces to found this company, Benefit Corporations for Good. I spent a lot of time doing creative services for various agencies in the Portland area, and I used to do a lot of radio for years, and very traditional, old school stuff, very fun. Timberline Lodge was a client of mine. I did work for Standard Insurance. Boyd's Coffee was another one. So I mean, there've been some various really good businesses that are a part of Portland history and are still vibrant today. So that was a lot of fun. But the most fun I'm having right now, Brian, to be honest with you, is what I am currently doing right now with my business partner, and that is being really true advocates of the triple bottom line movement that's going on not only in Oregon but across the United States and the world. So a very exciting mission that we're pushing forward right now.
That's awesome. Yeah. And before we jump too much into it, maybe, giving it some timeliness to what's going on. How has the virus affected you guys out there and, businesses in general?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's definitely slowed things down a little bit for us, but we are fortunate in that most of our work is done, via the internet and teleconferencing, really. Where we're falling short right now is we have spent a great deal of time going around the state, putting on free workshops to explain what the Benefit Corporation, what the Oregon Benefit Company and the Benefit Corporation movement is all about. And this would be, for groups of anywhere from 5 to 25. And we've been in Bend and Hood River, and we've been in La Grande, and we've been over in Baker City, and we've been to Corvallis in Lebanon. And those are all kind of put on hold right now, obviously, because of COVID-19. So that's something we have not been able to do, but we're looking at ways to maybe incorporate a webinar format and do them live so we can explain to people what this whole movement is about. So it has affected us to that extent, but in terms of just our day-to-day, people coming in and wanting to become certified, that has not affected us at all.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry to hear that for you guys, because you're such a good speaker. I'm sure getting out there and talking with folks on the ground is awesome. But I guess for the viewers listening to this who are at home, what could be the first thing that they could do to get in touch with you guys to try and,
Yeah.
get the process going?
Sure. So our website it's a long one. It's a mouthful here, benefitcorporationsforgood.com. And if you go to the home page, people are able to take what we call our sniff test. It's a free 11-question test that determines whether you are a good fit, you and your business are a good fit for following through with certification through our third-party standard. And so that is a great place to start. And of course, we have a blog that has contemporary posts about what this movement's about, the type of businesses that are in it, why some of our businesses have done it. We have an interview format going on with, I think we're up to about 10 of the 38 businesses we've certified to date, why they did it and what's been important to them in terms of their brand, their mission, and how it affects all their stakeholders in their businesses. So, yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, and everyone that's listening, go check out their website. I've been on it. You guys have video, which is great. As a media marketer, I like seeing that, and then it unpacks a lot of these questions. But I guess for someone, here we are, probably 10 minutes in, but for someone that's has no idea anything about benefit corporations for good, what would you tell them in a nutshell? We've already talked about the triple bottom line. Maybe we can start unpacking that a little bit. And then I'd like to talk about the book too. I think that kind of goes hand in hand with a lot of this, right?
Right. So the Oregon Benefit Company, and there's so much nomenclature here, so I don't like to stack it too much, because I just talked to a friend of mine who's been deep in the business, how the language is very difficult. That somebody's not done a great job in terms of using the industry terms right now, but I'll try to make it real simple. And that is, the Oregon Benefit Company is a way for a business in the state of Oregon to show that they are in business to make more than a profit. And that is to make a positive material impact. That's the statute's language, a positive material impact on the environment and on community. So, when you factor in your year, you decide what are important directions for your business. What are some things in your stakeholder makeup? What is important to them? And what we found is the businesses, Brian, that go this route have a great love and respect for their employees, for their customers, and for their community. That this is what defines them as a business. They're not just in it to make a buck, so to speak. So
that's awesome. That's great. And is this idea newer? Has it been around forever?
That's another great question. It actually has been on the books, meaning it was passed into legislation. It became effective January 1st, 2014, which is 6 years ago. Kate Brown was then Secretary of State. She's now obviously our governor, and she worked to get this through. But what's happened since that time is there was not a lot of money put into creating an awareness campaign. So a lot of people didn't know about it, us, including ourselves. My business partner had been in the business world for good long chunks of time, and neither one of us had known about it until a couple years ago, which got us prompted to write a book, which I'll tell you a little bit about. But the important part is Oregon's not alone there. Of the 36 states that now offer this legislation and this option for businesses, I don't think any of them have put any money into public awareness campaigns. It's just the funding has been dedicated to higher priorities, So, but that's really that's it in a nutshell in terms of how we really got into this. And we were writing a book on the benefit corporation movement, and the book, as you said, Putting Soul into Business. And we interviewed 11 thought leaders in our area, and most of them are from the state of Oregon, but some are from out of Oregon, and asked them why they've taken this route. And there are some great businesses. There's retail, there's beer, there's wine, there's professional services. And I think that is probably the most valuable part of the book. The way I would tell somebody, there are 11 people interviewed, and the transcripts are in the back of the book. But basically, we present the case for why this is so important going forward. Millennial generation in particular, and Gen Z are very powerfully motivated through purpose and purpose of work, purpose of a business, purpose of life. And we have lots of data points in there that really reinforce why a business should be considering this option if they have not already done so.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great. I think you unpacked a lot right there and kind of, broke it down for a lot of people. And I like how, so what made you guys pick 11 people to interview for this book? And,
Yeah, that's a great question too. We were brand new to the game, and we were lucky that one of our interviewees, he is a leader in the certified B Corp movement, and that's a higher level of certification than what we offer. So even to create more confusion for a lot of people, but Augusto Canero, who is the founder of Nossa Familia Coffee, had introduced us to several people we talked to, and those were kind of seemed about right for us to get a good sampling of different businesses and different viewpoints. That has all been part of the narrative of the book, as well as in the interview transcripts that we have of those really cool high purpose individuals and companies that were part of the book.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so that's awesome. And I've been to Nossa Familia Roasteria. That place is awesome. They do a great job, and you can tell that they are living out those values across the board, from their branding to how they treat their people.
Yeah, really great spot. Yeah, good people
over there in Portland. That's awesome. And then, okay, so you guys started doing the interviews, and then you guys are separate from the government. You guys are your own entity. So like you guys are running your own kind of organization. You've created the stamp for people, but I was looking a little bit deeper into it. Maybe you can talk to, I think a lot of people know what a B Corp is, but maybe you can talk about how you guys are different. And I'm sure there's a lot of confusion out in that space.
Yeah, that is absolutely. And we have a great blog that's available. If people want to know, we call it the 10 myths of benefit corporation, because there's so much confusion in all the language. But to put it simply, Brian, a certified B Corp is a business that can only be certified by an organization called B Lab. And B Lab is based in Philadelphia. It's a very rigorous, highly credentialed certification process that involves a pretty good amount of resources. So that's in both time and money. And so those businesses that have that stamp, it's kind of the little round red stamp and black, I think it's black and red. Anyway, those businesses have gone through a lot, but it is a business certification. Ours, the Oregon Benefit Company, the benefit corporation itself, is an actual legal designation. It becomes part of a business's article of incorporation or articles of membership. It's a very simple change that you can do online if you decide to pursue it, but you go through the Secretary of State's office. It's a $100 fee, and it'll add that language that says you are now a benefit corporation, an Oregon Benefit Company, benefit corporation if you're in California, that's what you'd be called there. But the point is you're held to the governance of that statute, and the statute requires, it's up to the business to decide where is that positive material impact going to be for your business. It could be something to do with the environment. There's a business I know of that makes furniture, and they go and support Friends of Trees. So they have a day where their employees are paid that day, but they go and they do work in terms of planting trees. There are other businesses that do work in terms of litter. There's another business that we've certified that does a litter patrol on the. There's a clever name, and I'm forgetting the name of what they call it, but they actually go out and they pick up around the river, the Willamette River in particular. Mm-hmm. So that is really the difference. So it's a legal designation versus a business designation at this point. Although, now to even to add more confusion, B Lab is now requiring, they have to be, a B Lab certified business has to be recertified every 3 years. Ours is every year. Ours is an annual ongoing, but it's a much simpler process. But in that second go around, in that first time you're getting recertified, you must become a benefit corporation of the state you are in. They're requiring that. Otherwise, you won't be recertified. So it is getting where it will all mean the same. It's just going to be the difference in how you're tested and proving that you're a triple bottom line, whether through intent or heavy duty metrics.
Gotcha. Yeah. Thank you for breaking that down
Yeah.
on both ends of things. Cause yeah, it can be a lot. And I think what's different is you guys kind of help guide people through this whole process because it is arduous or it can be kind of confusing. And you guys walk people along the way, and you guys provide consultation, around their business too, right?
Yes, exactly. And we have the nice thing about what we do and our real value add. So there are only four organizations that are endorsed by the state of Oregon and on the Secretary of State's website, and we are one of four, obviously, BLAB being the most prestigious there, but we're the only state-based one, and I think that's the governor wanted to have a state-based certification here, or a standard here. But what we do is we will help walk people through, once they've taken the question, there's 48 questions you're given, and it's self-assessed. So you would be assessing yourself on a scale of 1 to 5, and then you'd be answering why you gave yourself that assessment. What happens then, it's usually a 2-hour process. What happens after that, Brian, is that then we get it, we score it, and then we set up a teleconference with the business owner or owners, depending on the case, and we go through, what the score was, what was done right, where there's a need for improvement, and lastly, how to leverage that certification, if you made the certification. And you have to have a passing score of 70 or above to get through it. But where people have found the most value in our follow-up surveys is it has been in that verbal discussion. And I don't think the others are as, they're more in a written form, so we're able to answer some questions as we go along. And obviously, we are always available to answer questions for people prior to taking the test. And we spent a lot of time having, up until COVID times, we spent a lot of time in coffee shops, talking to people like you, small one-woman, one-man bands, whatever, who have a passion and a purpose in doing something bigger beyond just making money, so.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's great. Thank you for breaking down that assessment, kind of the step-by-step, and you guys are able to help them along the way. Maybe you can talk, I'm sure within that questionnaire, they talk about the triple bottom line, but maybe we can dive into each of those. Diving into maybe starting with people.
Yeah, let me just take one step back and even tell you how that phrase occurred into the kind of the common business language these days. And it was in 1992, and there's a CPA still alive, still doing really good stuff in the world. His name's John Elkington. He had an accounting firm, and he got to thinking about, why are we always talking about the bottom line? We should be talking about a triple bottom line. He started thinking about how important it is to start taking, this has been a very early environmentalist activist, and taking better care of our people and our communities. So that's kind of where the people and the planet and the profit all kind of came together, because yes, you do have to make a profit if you're going to be a sustainable business. That's part of that. So there isn't a discounting of that, but it's more that a business can do so many more good things in their daily operations and how they approach the world. And as I said, taking care of the environment, finding ways to be a green business. We have many blogs on that right now. How to do things that are part of a business's manifesto. What is important in terms of social justice issues, or how do you make a social impact, or are you supporting minority communities? Whatever that is, it's up for that business to determine that. We don't tell them that. We help guide them if the question comes, but it's more something that needs to be considered in this really holistic manner of what your business is about. And that's why I always love using that the tree analogy, and this is the work of the Joinery, which is John Blumenauer's company when I interviewed him for the book. But what makes better sense if you're using a natural resource than to be replenishing it back into the world? So that's the people, that's the planet, and the profit. And our questions are all framed around triple bottom line topics, and how it would be with a business. We're what we find with a lot of the purpose-driven businesses right now, and we love them all, but there's some that are working too much. They're giving away too much that they're not going to make a profit. And we say, hey, listen, step back and just, get some things done, and then you could certainly be as generous as you want to. But we want to make sure that you are sustainable, and part of that is making a profit so you stay in business.
Yeah, so you can continue doing those things. And I think that's great. A great time to segue into, and thank you so much for giving that kind of the back history behind that, and awesome hearing that it came from a CPA side of things.
Yeah, he's all over the world right now, which is really cool. I follow him on LinkedIn, and his name, as I said, is John Elkington. So anybody listening wants to go see, he's doing so many good things, and he does a lot of work with World Health Organization, and there's several really big global organizations that many of your viewers will know. So yeah.
That's awesome. So he's kind of like bridging the gap between all of this. And yeah, because I think about, for a small business or for a business that's already been around, at what stage should they consider this? Like you said, you guys help people draft their manifestos, or I guess draft business plans that have this incorporated in there. But I guess for a small business, at what time should they consider it? And for a big business, what time should they consider as well?
Yeah, that's a common question we get. It's a good one too, Brian. I think it really does vary by the businesses. Some know from the get-go. For example, our next business we're going to be certifying is just getting started. They want to do it right away. They want to have that certification. They want to have it into their operating documents, legal operating documents. They want that as a part of it. Other smaller businesses will email us, and we have standard 3 or 4 links we give them to give them more information about the whole, this discussion we're having here about what it takes to become a benefit company or benefit corporation. But a lot of them just don't have the funding.
A big thank you to our sponsors over at songtub.com. That's right, song or music and a tub, like a bath, but more fun to say. Tub. Anyway, you can check out Songtub's website for any of your music needs. In fact, the song playing in the background right now is from Songtub. So why pick them over anyone else? Well, they curate the music. And I know the guys, so that means I know that they're selecting great music for your project. A lot of other companies will brag about how many songs they have, maybe 100,000, 200,000, maybe even 1 million. But honestly, I don't have time for that. I don't have the time to just sit down and go next, a song not so great, trying to figure out where the best music is. Songtub.com, great place to get your music. And now I'm excited to offer you the first month for free if you go to songtub.com/pro, P-R-O, and we have a promo code for you. Yes, that's right, my name, your host, Brian, B-R-Y-A-N, and that will give you your first month free to have access to a huge music library that you can use towards your next video project, podcast, or any of your general audio needs. Anyway, back to the show.
Very reasonable, but we say get your business up and running first and then come back to us, because it's an easy amendment. It costs, as I said earlier, it's $100 if you want to amend your existing articles of incorporation. And then our certification fee starts at $249, which is for the majority of the businesses we've done. That's up to 4 employees. That's where it's been, but then it goes a little bit higher based on scales up depending on what business employee roster looks like. So
yeah, which that's great, because that gets you the consultation. It gets you the stamp that you're able, or what do you guys call that actually?
It's a digital
mark.
stamp. No,
digital
it's exactly
stamp.
right.
Okay, cool.
You get a digital stamp, and if you're a retailer, then you also get the window cling that goes, just like you see your Visa, accepted here sort of thing. And you get them both, and you're able. We have many of our businesses that we've certified to date have actually incorporated the stamp into their labeling as well, because they have some packaged goods that they sell. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have to get a license for each of those?
We send them the artwork, and then it's up to them to how they want to use it, but they have carte blanche on that, in terms of how it's used for the brand.
That's awesome. And then I guess I probably should have looked into this a little bit before the interview, but are there any tax exemptions for folks?
That's the number one question we get. One question every time we put this on. And at this point, the answer is no. Yeah. We think it's a matter of time before there will be some sort of financial reward for doing that, although this community doesn't necessarily ask for it. But at this point, the only way we can describe where that might come in is in the counties, Cook County, which is just Chicago area, and Los Angeles County. They will offer, those governments the county governments will offer a business who is going after a government contract extra points on their request for proposal. So if that request for proposal goes in and they see that you as a business are a certified benefit corporation, you will automatically get X number of points more than somebody who's not. So I think it's going to come in that form, and it'll start. And we think it's only a matter of time in the metro area in the state of Oregon where that becomes an important part of pushing this movement forward.
Yeah, I think that's just one more incentive for folks. But like you mentioned, there's people. I mean, a lot of the people that sign up for this, they're doing it out of because they see the good and what it can do and the impact it can make on all across the board on their communities, on their people, on our environment. And so, yeah, it's beyond just trying to get a little tax credit there.
Yeah, yeah, right. It's funny because while it's important, it's still the people that we've certified, the 38 businesses we've certified to date are just dyed in the wool. This is who they are. This is what they believe their role in the world is. And so it's not a critical question for them. I mean, it does get asked though. So as I said, it is our number one question that's asked.
That's awesome. Yeah. It sounds like they live and breathe it and it's part of their DNA, which is good.
Yeah.
People are able to show it across the board. And then we talked about kind of that badge. Is there any other, what are some other things that you've seen people that are benefit corporations, how they've marketed it? You've said they've put it on labeling, people put it on their website.
Packaged goods, almost all of them have it on their website. We've seen them at events that we put, like business fairs where they'll use that branding as part of their booth that they've designed. It's really cool. It's used as any way you want to use it where you think it's important. And most of them do believe that's an important part of their brand message is that they're a triple bottom line business. And that helps carry that. And on our site, it's another thing I'll say is on our site, if you go to the community page, it lists all the businesses that have been certified to date. And then you get a link. You click on the logo and you can go see what the business is all about. But we keep that community page active and current. And I will say there's one other thing actually that you do get as a certified outside of the stamp and our feedback is that we give a shout out on all our social channels too to everybody that comes in. So we have a very strong following on LinkedIn. We have a newsletter now that's almost at 500. So that goes out to them. And the beauty of this, Brian, this is a really great, you might have this as a question already, but I will, this is a nice segue. We have our people, because they're aligned, these businesses are aligned in their values to begin with. They are doing work together, the attorney might be doing work for the creative services firm, and the creative services firm might be helping the winery. And it's just this lovely cycle of good that's all coming together as certified triple bottom line businesses.
That's awesome. Yeah, you created or cultivated something of a community there. So you kind of know who you can trust, or that hey, this person is putting these values at the forefront of their organization. So I know that my dollar is going to be used for good, I guess.
Absolutely. Yeah. The line that the certified B Corp community uses as they always have a picture of, there's a really cool poster and it amplifies exactly what you just said, is there's an old school cash register that you'd see like in a country store, and it says something like, this is a voting machine. And people vote with their dollars, on what they believe a business should be all about. And we love that idea, and not only is that a theory, I mean, it's in practice now. And then the data, as I said, supports all that. So
that's awesome. Yeah. So hopefully, putting money back into things that you believe in, putting your money where, it's going to make an impact beyond just the initial transaction of, product, service,
right,
but has a ripple effect on everything around us. So
yeah. Yep.
That's awesome.
Uh-huh.
I forget, I had this question here, documenting the process of becoming a partner. So I guess, I wonder where I was going with that one. Just like, I guess the steps along the way, we kind of already dove into that. where was I going with that question?
Well, you know what? Here's something that might, it's not, maybe not exactly the answer, but we have on our website, there's a, on the nav bar, there's a link that says quick links. And quick links has the most important documents we think that somebody needs to know about this. And the one that you might be leading to, because it's very much process driven, is 6 steps to becoming an Oregon benefit company. And we literally outline the 6 steps. You're able to click on the link and it takes you to the Secretary of State site if you're an existing business and you want to amend. Or if you're a new business, and we have it for both LLC and for S or C corps, depending on your which you've chosen to set your business up as. And it goes through, and then the other big thing that it takes you through is a certification. The one thing that I have not yet mentioned is the other requirement as an Oregon benefit company, and this is with the benefit corporation, wherever you are, is that you must produce an annual benefit report. So that means that at the end of the first year, we do this with our clients as we send them an email, remind them that they need to have that up within, we say, 60 days. And what that benefit report is all about is how did they meet positive material impact on the environment and the community? What did you do to do that? We have a simple template that we give away that people can use to help them frame, what they've done. But that's very important to us, and it gives more credence to prospective employees, to prospective customers, saying, man, these guys are not just talking, they're walking, they're walking, they say. So
that's awesome. Well, thank you for catching me there. Yeah. And outlining those steps, right. I definitely tell the viewers out there, go out there and check out those steps. And I appreciate that you guys have simplified this process and already, handled all of these questions. Yeah. Checking out the blog, doing the FAQs.
Yeah.
So that makes a big difference for people. You mentioned a few other companies that have gone through the process, 38 that you guys have worked with so far. Maybe you can talk about the most dramatic, benefit or positive impact this has had on a company that you've seen go through this process.
Let's see. That's an excellent question. I've got. Let me give you an example. There is one of our businesses is a husband and wife operation, and we certified their initial business, which is they're a very environmentally strong, 1% for the planet, in addition to being a certified B Corp, in addition to being a certified benefit corporation for good. So they've got 3 very well-respected, and I'm being humble about ours, but the other 2 are very respected brands in terms of what you're doing good, where you're doing good. Mm-hmm. And they then have opened up another business, an excellent business, a wine business, that is also owned by them, and they immediately wanted to get certified through us to have that business. So there's this, if I was to tell you, there's this trickle down. They're both very strong advocates. They've been activists in the environmental space. But I think it's just this belief that this is so important to their existence and how they see themselves in the world and how they want to be perceived, and not only perceived, but, as I said, walk their talk. And they do. And I think it only brings better business, it brings better clients, it brings better customers, it brings better employees. Community members want to go to bat for you. It's just, it is a very powerful movement right now. And I get so much joy in seeing how much good are being done by. And I think this is one of the things that Marianne and I both believe from the get-go, is that with all due respect to government, it's small business that's going to make the needed changes in the world. It's our belief that that's how we are going to create a better world for everybody. And we think small businesses have the fortitude, they have the wherewithal, and they have the creativity and persistence to do that. So,
yeah, it's awesome. That's what I was curious if it's an easier thing for a smaller business. Because they are nimble, because they are smaller, and you don't get caught up with a lot of, the slow moving paces. It's just the bigger the organization, more, cooks in the kitchen, more people that have to get approval and sign off on everything. So
yeah. Yeah.
When you work with those bigger companies, are you working, you try to get sign off and buy-in from all the executives?
Yeah, so typically that's something they have to do internally, but many times they will ask us to come and talk to their board or their managers, or however the business is set up and structured, where we will come and we will give the reasons why they should do it, and the reasons why they shouldn't do it. We always say, one of the most important things we always say is, to particularly businesses that are new to the idea, that if you're not willing to do the work that's required, in other words, you don't really believe this, but you think it's just going to be a branding mechanism, don't do it. Save your money and either just do good in your community. But this is something that people are going to they look into. You're vetted by all the time, not only by us, but by your customers. And if they see you've misled them or you're greenwashing in any way, you're in trouble, in this day and age, with how social media can change a company's perception very quickly.
Oh yeah. You gotta, walk, like you said, walk the walk,
Yeah,
the talk. And so, you have to be willing to make a full transformation as an organization if you haven't already been living out some of these practices.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we've gone through a lot of this, and thank you so much, Tom, for kind of really simplifying this down for a lot of folks, for myself and for the people listening. Are there any common challenges you see, or any hangups that people, along the way?
I think at this point we really haven't seen too many challenges. Now we've gone into round 2 of some of the business we've certified, which means that you have to go through a recertification, but it's even at a more discounted rate, and it's steady for everybody. But we found that when they get to that second, they're a little slower to get to it, but they're definitely want to do it because they know the brand is possible. So and I think part of it, again, Brian, is the economic pressure that's on businesses just due to coronavirus. I think there's a massive amount. So we're doing whatever we can. We offer our support in whatever way we can help them out. But I don't think there's really been a whole lot of challenges. It's more like getting it just right, where there's buy-in from your employees. So we have one firm that we love all our businesses, but one firm that's about 15 employees, and they wanted to make sure that business, that all those employees felt part of this decision. It's the way it should be made, and you have all buy-in from all employees. And there's a sense of pride's probably a little too corny word, but there is
ownership, maybe.
Ownership. That's an excellent word. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, there's a sense of ownership, and they're all in it together, and they are our greatest advocates. We've had them speak, some of our own. We've had them speak. We have occasional events, and we're going to ramp those up in the next year, where if you're a certified business through us, you get privy to webinars that are very leading edge on this whole movement, because there's stuff that's just coming. I just learned about a whole new legal designation for companies today that is very much in our movement, that I'm real excited about, and nobody knows about this particular thing. But we want to inform them of these options. And part of our mission is to be not only evangelists, as we say, for the benefit corporation, but we're educators too. And part of that is we got to educate ourselves as we go forward, because it's so fluid and quick in how things are changing, because this is what the world's asking for right now. That they're asking for.
Well, it sounds like, they've even made the change 6 years ago, 2014, when a lot of this got passed. But it's still in the infancy, but something that's needed, definitely wanted. And I even asked myself, if 100% of companies were doing this, what kind of world would we be in? I think we're burning 3 Earths right now. If everyone lived like the Americans, we'd be screwed, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So I'm really appreciative to the work that you guys are doing, because I think programs and organizations like yourselves doing this kind of work is helping, maybe reverse or prevent some of these, catastrophic things that are, could be in our future, depending on how we treat the planet, how we treat each other.
Yeah. There are some really good businesses and good people in the world. I think we have to be reminded of this, and this just this is helping move it even quicker, this kind of adoption of these principles that are part of the benefit corporation.
That's awesome. Well, hopefully, the viewers listen to this and you get some people that want to, reach out to you guys and learn what it takes to make this happen, because as you've already mentioned, some of these other companies that you have worked with have seen a huge benefit, huge impact from this.
Brian, and I'd offer, as I said, anybody that wants to please reach out. Any questions, anything I can help, we are always available to answer those questions. And we're pretty quick, we're within 24 hours, you'll get some responses, sometimes quicker. So whatever we can do.
That's awesome. What's your guys', I don't really like to look too far on the future, but, in an ideal year, 5 years from now, what would be an ideal, situation? You guys have all of Oregon, you guys expand out to the rest of the country?
Yep.
International? I don't know.
Super question. We're just actually kind of modifying our business plan right now, and that is part of it. And we have some excellent interest. We've certified 2 businesses out of the state of Oregon, by the way, and that was one thing, and I can't remember if I told you that before, but we have a business in Colorado. That's there might be a second one coming from Colorado, a business in Arizona, and then there's a pending business in the state of Virginia. And our standard is strong enough to work within all of those, any state that has it right now. And where we see ourselves, though, is probably being very strong, respected third-party standard in the states of Oregon, Washington, California in 5 years. That's really where I see it. And if we get into California, and that is an extremely good possibility, that would be pretty amazing, So, what is the 6th world's largest economy or something like that?
Yeah. No, they're like their own country. How much
that would keep us busy for a while, and plenty of other people, I think. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Well, best of luck to you guys. I really appreciate you coming onto the show and breaking a lot of this down. And I hope you guys are able to kind of keep expanding what you're doing and get the word out there, because if a lot more organizations were doing this kind of stuff, I think we could see a better world, a better tomorrow for future generations.
Well, it's been a real pleasure, Brian. Great questions. It's fun talking with you, and however we can help your viewers, please, they can reach out to me directly. Then my contact information is on the website. Just go to contact page, and that's simple. So.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay. Well, for viewers, I'll tell them go to your website. Should they check on your website? Or should they just check with their own state if they do have a benefit corporations for good program?
Yeah, they can do that. They can go to the Secretary of State's office of the 36 states, and there are 5 pending right now. So we're going to be over 40, I think, within the year. So that's really great. And we, our prediction has always been that all 50 states will offer this at some point in time, and sooner than later. But yeah, that's the best way to go see. Just go to your Secretary of State's office website, put in the search term benefit corporation and see what pops up. So.
Sweet. Yeah. And I'll put a link to your guys' website in the show notes. And
absolutely.
Yeah, I'll tell people to check out the book.
Yeah.
Would you say the book is a good supplement to what they're doing, or maybe it'll get the inspirational juices flowing?
Yeah, it will. And here's the deal. I'll make. We just offered our digital version free through the end of day tomorrow. But I know this is going to post later than that. Anybody that mentions, if they email me and just mentions I heard it on your show, I'll send them a free digital copy of the book. So, yeah.
Wow, really appreciate that, Tom. Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to help. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think the people will definitely enjoy that. So, yeah. Sweet. Well, did we cover everything?
I think you did a great job. Yeah, you did an excellent job. So.
Well, yeah. Well, I know you're a busy guy. I'll let you get back to your day and maybe enjoy some sunshine. We have a little bit here in the Northwest today, which is great.
Nice. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Thanks again, Brian. Really appreciate it. And, I know we'll catch up soon. All right.
Yeah, sounds great. All right. I'll see you soon, Tom. All right. Take care.
Take care.
Best of luck. Bye.
See ya. Bye.
I want to say a big thanks for tuning into the Media Marketing Podcast. Please subscribe to get notifications for new episodes, which are coming out every Thursday morning, or at least we're striving for that. Feel free to visit our Facebook page where you can like and join the media marketing community. This is a good resource for collaborating, sharing ideas with other media creators, marketers, and those just looking to build their network. So until next time.